Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead, and today I'm going to bone out a chicken. This is part 3 of our Turducken series. Now, this is a store-bought chicken, folks, because my chickens are frozen and you know I have to do fresh. So this is a fresh, organic chicken. Very expensive, but I wanted it because it's very little, because we only have a little bit of duck meat and our turkey isn't huge either, so we wanted a little chicken. So we got an organic one. Look! All plucked and ready to go. I'm just going to check in here for any bits and pieces. And just like our duck and our turkey, you got a nice sharp knife. Feel along the backbone. Just like our turkey, only much, much smaller. I wasn't going to debone this, but it's so small, you really should see it. Now, let's go to our shoulder joint here. We're going to just take the wing. We're just going to cut the wing off. Because how much meat's going to be on this? Just like that. And when I go to make my gravy, I'll just pop these in with the broth. Now folks, here's an interesting thing. If you're parting up your chickens for, say, chicken wings and stuff, and you want to do a bag of chicken wings and you don't like to put them in like this, you just take this little piece, okay, and you just fold it like that in on itself, and there is your folded chicken wing. Okay? Now that our wings are off, we can go down into and find, you can really actually feel it, because there's the backbone, but there we go. And now we're just going to go down along the rib cage. Let's get this shoulder blade out of here. Now again, like the turkey, be really careful folks, because that's just skin. Now we're going to go down the other side of the backbone and find our leg joint, and you really can find it with just the feel of the knife. Now obviously we're not deboning this completely whole because it's going inside the turducken, so we really don't need to, it doesn't need to be beautiful, it just needs to be in one piece. There's the joint right there. And then we're just going to go here. And you can almost peel, because this is so lovely and so fresh. I got a hole in the skin there, but that's okay. That's from taking the wing off. Now we're just going to go along here, find the rib cage, and just go down the rib cage. There we go. The old woohoo there. And we can almost roll it over and start from this side, but we're going to go back down the other side of the rib cage. There's our shoulder joint, a little bit there. You're just going to cut around any bone you find and then slide your knife down the rib cage. Once you've done the turkey and the duck, folks, a little chicken actually is not that difficult to do. Watching your fingers. There is a reason, folks, that meat cutters wear chainmail gloves. Okay, now, oh, there's that little piece of cartilage from the tip of the breastbone. We want to take that out. It really looks like I'm mangling this, but I'm not, folks. At least I hope I'm not. All right. Okay, so now you can almost pick up the rib cage and just cut. There's that bit of breastbone. We just want to separate the connective tissue and take the neck, and there is our rib cage. And again, we're going to save this for the stock for the gravy. Okay, so if you really wanted to, you could sew this back up and stuff it, but we're going to take the legs out. Let me just wash my hands, and because this is really, really cold, and we'll get right back at it. All right, so here we have our little chicken. It's a little mangled, but you know what? It's going inside the turkey. So now the turducken. So now what we want to do is we want to take the bone out of the drumstick and the thigh. That's the tricky part, because in the turkey, I left the drumsticks in, and in the duck, I didn't leave any skin, so we just took pieces off as we wanted. So the tricky part is going to be getting the thigh bone and the drumstick out without wrecking this skin, because you know what? We want to stuff that. So we're just going to go spread our little guy open here, and we're just going to go and feel along the thigh bone inside the chicken. And be careful, you don't want to cut your hands or the skin. And if you want to leave the wings on and go ahead and try and debone the puppies, you go right ahead. I am just not up to that challenge. That's why I took the wings off. Now that we've got the knob of the thigh bone exposed, we are just going to shave the meat down the bone until we get to the joint. And we're just going to leave the joint intact because it gives us something to hold on to as we go down the rest of the way to the bottom of the drumstick. Now, give it a little slice there. I've inserted my knife and given it a little slice to expose the bone. And I'm just going to peel the skin down, trying not to puncture it. And then I'm just going to cut away the meat around the joint. Again, just peeling it down, trying not to cut the skin. If we cut the skin, it's not a huge deal. This is a turducken, folks. We're not sewing this back up and stuffing it. But it's nice to know that you can if you want to. Except for the wings, of course. If I were you, I'd just sew them back on. All right, now we want to cut away the ligaments that attach the meat or the muscle to the bone. And see, once you get those ligaments done, this just kind of peels right down. We're going to scrape it with our good sharp knife. Again, see, there's a ligament. You don't want that. Cut it away as far away from the meat as possible. And now look at this, folks. We're just going to grab this by the knuckle. This is why I left this joint intact, because it gives you something to grip as you pull, and Bob's your uncle. Okay, maybe not your uncle, but maybe your aunt. There goes the complete bone and look, we're just going to shove that back out just like that. Look at that. Now, if you wanted to do this with a duck, this is the kind of thing Julia Childs does, and I'm dropping names here because I'm really proud of this. So we're going to go ahead and do it with the other side, and then we're going to roll this up. So when I get the other leg done, we'll be back. Okay, here it is, folks. Our little deboned chicken, and I'm really prodigiously proud of this job. I've missed a little bit of breast meat, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that off and stuff it in the legs, because I'm not going to put stuffing in the legs. I was thinking of opening up the legs, but then I realized, you know what, I'm really quite happy with the job. So there it is, my deboned chicken. And again, now, I'll be cooking this tomorrow, or putting this all together in the next 48 hours. So I am not going to freeze this. I'm just going to put this on the top shelf of my fridge. That actually seems to get frozen anyway, but not solidly. So we're just going to, we've got it all laid out on our parchment paper. And if you were going to freeze it until you were ready to put your turducken together, remember, folks, you cannot thaw, debone, and refreeze poultry or meat of any kind. I'm making mine all fresh. I started from fresh. That's why I had to buy this chicken, because mine are all frozen. So there we go. We're going to put that in a bag. And we're going to put this in the fridge, and then the next episode, you're going to see us putting our turducken together. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead saying, I really hope you like this video when it's all done, because I ain't never doing this again. Take care. Bye-bye.